Right. Now, let's go to the flow. So, the flow of our program will be after this introduction. So, I will call kasamang Edwin Batong Bakal of Akbayan USA to do an opening remarks by explaining the rationale, our calls, and to introduce our speaker. And then it will be followed by our guest speaker, who is a member of the executive committee of Akbayan, uh, 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 Comrade Rene Sierra Cruz. And then late after him, we will be joined from the Philippines by Secretary Ronald Llamas. Maybe some of you know him as Senator Edu Manzanas, right?
Oh,
So, he's very
okay.
popular. Before, his audience was just like us, but now his audience is uh, worldwide. Yes, and then we will have an open forum after his talk, so we can address our questions to either Rene, Karene, or Ronald, or to both of them. And then after that open forum, we will be having a pitch and thank people who donated to our fund drive for the typhoon. And then Ka Edwin will also do another pitch for tonight. Want or to shout a slogan, that's fine. At least we will. This is a platform for us to express ourselves and to be in solidarity with our kababayans in the Philippines who are struggling and to who are fighting to end this corruption and to have a free and a more democratic and progressive Philippines. And then we will have a closing activity. Probably we will do a group chant what so that we can also amplify our voices and connect with the voices of our kababayans in the Philippines. And then if that will be okay with everyone, so to those who would like to be part of an group photo, so you can open your cameras, and then if during our session you can still have a time to do your own sign, so please do so, so that during our group photo you can show your sign. So pwedeng kulang kayo ng just get a bond paper, you can write anything there just to express your feeling, right? So that probably will conclude our session by singing the popular song from the play Les Miserables. Wish to stay longer, we can stay and listen or watch the live stream that's happening from the People Power Monument. But that is not compulsory, so that is open to those who still want to stay. Is that okay with everyone?
Okay.
Great. So that will be our flow. Okay, and to start our program, I would like to call on Edwin Batong Bakal to do the opening and explain the why we are here gathered tonight. Thank you. Edwin.
Hello. Welcome, everyone. It's good to see many of our friends here, many familiar faces. I'm heartened by your presence here, and
Especially the new faces.
especially the new faces. And my name is Edwin Matambakal, and I'm one of the coordinators in the U.S. of the Akbayan Citizens Action Party that's actually based in the Philippines. Thank you for attending our Zoom forum tonight. So, let me. So, so the people here are actually not only members of Akbayan, but we actually invited many more supporters, followers, and close allies and friends, not only of Akbayan, but actually of the the principle of democracy and good governance in the Philippines. So there are many players aside from Akbayan that are advancing that cause. And the reason we are here today in particular is that we wanted to get some insights, get some really good information, and we have two good speakers who will provide that information, but also to share insights on what is currently at the forefront of efforts at true reform and progressive change in our country today, which in particular includes now the fight against massive corruption in government. And this was triggered by exposés of massive graft and corruption uh, with infrastructure monies um, that were plundered, public funds that were stolen. And this has rightfully inflamed the anger and the passion of our people for a fundamentally different type of government and for a fundamentally better government. So we timed this because right now in the Philippines, it's around 10 o'clock in the morning, and they're starting a full day of protests at the Luneta, at the People Power Monument, um, to protest this corruption that's been endemic in our country. And we have two speakers today. Rene Syria Cruz, I'll introduce, and also uh, Ronald Llamas. Um, I'll start with Ronald because I can only do it briefly, and then we'll end with Rene. Ronald Llamas is a founding member and a former president of Bayan Citizens Action Party. He's also a very well-known political analyst, and we are looking forward to hearing from him. The ins and outs of what's going on politically in the Philippines, particularly the prospects of this anti-corruption movement. Ronald is here.
Okay, Ronald.
Are you coming? If you're coming.
Okay, without further ado.
Ah, okay,
Edwin,
Ronald.
Edwin, could you introduce Ronald?
I won't be introducing Ronald for too long now.
No,
Wag na, wag na.
Maybe
no,
maybe
Introduce.
kilala na ng lahat, no?
Hindi, maybe not everybody knows him.
Oh, and he was introduced earlier as the founding president of Akbayan and served as the political advisor of President Pinoy when Akbayan had a critical collaboration with the liberal government of Pinoy from 2010 to 2016. And now the most famous political heckler. That's how
Analyst,
he
analyst.
that's how he would like to be ano eh, to be known. But actually the most pinakamahusay na political analyst and most sought political analyst nowadays. So let us hear from Sec Ronald aka Edu Manzanas.
Ronald, English,
Okay.
English na ha? English.
Oh,
Pwede namang ano na, yeah.
ugly.
Okay.
English is
English, yeah. Yeah, Ronald,
Ah,
please take away.
good
Actually,
good
naghintay kami
day.
dito para sa'yo.
Yeah, good day. Good day to everyone. No, I'm so sorry I was late. A lot of things happening today. No, troubleshooting, meetings, etc. No, it's a very historic day. That's why a lot of things are happening. Thank you for the introduction. Just call me a heckler. A political analyst is like Rene Syria Cruz with rigor. With rigor, graduate, wrote a lot of things. No, unlike me, I'm just a heckler, undergrad, dropout, etc. So it's good that Edwin called me a heckler. No, well, according to my favorite ex-human rights lawyer, we are being forced to choose between the forces of evil and the forces of darkness. Puwersa ng kadiliman at puwersa ng kasamaan, no? No less than the Humba King said that, no? Who is now charged with human trafficking, money laundering, etc. No? Today we are celebrating Bonifacio Day, one of our national heroes. But we are also celebrating the movement which we hope will change Philippine society, the Trillion Peso Movement. It started as a movement against corruption in September 21, anniversary of martial law. But it has grown into a movement not just against corruption, but against impunity and against dynasties. And is now proposing not only exposing the evils of this society, but proposing alternative policies, alternative programs. So it's not just negative, it's also positive. But I would like to emphasize the issue of impunity. Never has we know that corruption exists in our society, in our country. We know that impunity exists in our situation. We know that dynasties proliferate in our society. But today, these problems have reached their limits. Dynasties comprise more than 80% of all elected officials on the local and national levels. Corruption is in the trillions, not only in the millions, but in the hundreds of billions and even trillions. And what is important is the issue of impunity. These things are happening because we permit them to happen. These scoundrels believe that they can get away with anything. While all of this is happening, we thought that they already reached the limit of their corrupt practices. We thought that they have already reached the limit of their impunity. But no, just a few days back, the Commission on Election, cleared former Senate President Chis Escudero against all its own rules, against all the laws of the country. Imagine that. And a few days back, the Secretary of Trade and Industry said that we can spend Christmas. Ordinary people can spend Christmas with $8, rubbing it in our face. In the midst of hundreds of billions of corruption, even trillions, this secretary are saying we should live within our limits. $8 for Christmas. It's not an issue of the $8. It's an issue that in the midst of all this corruption, they are telling us how to live our lives modestly. Imagine that. That's what I call impunity. And this impunity has no limits. That's why this movement, which is being sustained today, which is growing on a national level. September 21 was a rally, was a movement launched in EDSA. But this November 30 is a nationwide activity, even global. I gave several lectures in Paris, in Japan, in Vienna, and they're launching their own mobilizations today and other places around the world with Filipinos and sympathizers. So this is no longer just a Metro Manila movement. This is a national movement. This is not just a national movement. This is an international movement of Filipinos around the world. For a long time, Filipino OFWs have been the foundation of our economy. But they shouldn't be limited to that. They should also be the foundation of our political system. Our overseas Filipinos, our Filipino migrants should assert not only their numbers, but their influence in shaping Philippine society. This historic systemic ill should be eradicated within the next few months, if not years. Perception is important, but words are not enough. There should be action. Cases should not only be filed, it should be pursued, and people should be imprisoned. And the wealth they accumulated out of corruption should be given again to the people. It's not enough to file cases. We should bring it to its logical conclusion, up to the highest level of corruption. We shouldn't just be content with the small fish. We have to imprison the sharks who plague our society. I would like to apologize to the sharks for using them. No, they're much better creatures than our politicians. No? So this is historic. This is the first time ordinary people since the 80s have participated in such a movement. In September 21, you saw families joining us. You saw ordinary people marching. No? These are not the usual suspects like Edwin and Rene. These are people who are the first time to join such mobilizations. And most important, the youth in their thousands have emerged as a new political force, just as they emerged as a new electoral force last midterm election. So these new forces should be led, and that is what is lacking. National, local leaders who will lead the reform of the system, not only by advocating reforms from the outside, but entering the political system. Last September 21, they didn't permit politicians to join the rally. Now, November 30, they should permit politicians, alternative politicians. We cannot just change the system without changing the people running the system. We need candidates. We need the Shelo Magnos of this world, the Heidi Mendozas of this world, the Chel Joknos of this world, the Laila de Limas of this world, in their hundreds, even in their thousands. It's not enough to expose and oppose the ills of this system. We need to propose not only alternative solutions, but alternative leaders. We have a longer runway compared to 2022. We have 2.5. Let us not waste it. No? Let us not waste it. It is a time where we urge alternative leaders to stand as alternative politicians. No? So this is a historic moment, again, a defining moment, because as 12 ambassadors told me a month ago, if we permit the Dutertes to return, if we permit these corrupt politicians to rule over us, in 2028, we will be no less than a failed state. No? A failed state, similar to North Korea, etc. So the future now is at stake. It's not just the present. It's not just our own personal lives. It's the lives of our families. It's the lives of our communities. It's the lives of our sectors. It's the lives of our country, which is at stake. But most importantly, the lives of future generations yet unborn will be shaped in the next 2.5 years. This is our challenge. For the father who lost his life in a flood trying to save his children. For Kian de los Santos, who was assassinated by policemen while saying, let me go, I have to finish my homework. For Jello, who died with leptospirosis while searching for his father. The students who weren't able to go home because they drowned in a flood. For them, we have to find a way. Not even the cynicism of our political system, not even the hopelessness we have experienced in the past should prevent us from changing our present as well as our future. What we are involved in is no less than a struggle between dignity, integrity versus cynicism, between hope and desperation. Let us not fail our people. Let us not fail our future generation. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you, kasamang Ronald. Palakpakan natin. And it's worth the wait, always. Yeah. So, are you okay, kasama Ronald, to take like 1, 2, or 3 questions?
Yes, of course. But I think Rene can answer it more adequately than me.
No, I was waiting.
It's been talking.
Wait. I was waiting for you Give us the lay of the land in terms of
Yeah.
the balance
Yes.
of forces, the political alignments that you're seeing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Let's start with that.
like today, we have two rallies, two mobilizations. One in Oleta, organized by the friends of Edwin and Rene.
Hey,
No? The Not Dems, the San Lakas, the Trotskyists, etc. What they're calling is for a resign all, a transition council, similar to a revolutionary government, which is in itself not necessarily bad. But in the present context, an extra constitutional project will make us vulnerable to the forces of a junta because only the military can force the government to resign. Only the military can initiate a transition council in spite of the illusions of our leftist friends. No? So we have to move within the constitutional framework. As Cardinal David said, let us not throw the baby with the bathwater. But as he also said, we have to be innocent as doves and wise as serpents. We cannot fight corruption while we are corrupt ourselves. But while fighting corruption, let us not permit others to hijack our movement towards other goals, towards a military junta, towards an installation of the vice president. No? So these forces are lurking around us, trying to hijack what we have started because they know that this is important. This has broken the limits of what we have done in the past. So they want to hijack this movement towards their own goals, towards an installation of Sara Duterte, towards a revolutionary government. And some of our friends are seduced into this project because of the corruption of the system. Let us be more circumspect. Let us not be hijacked by these forces. So today, even with similar objectives, we don't believe in an extra constitutional project at this point. At this point. So, in summary, the mobilizations today reflect that division. Reflect that division. Hopefully, that division will be bridged, no, soon, or else it may be used against us. But that is the reality of our political situation.
Thank you, Ronald. Yeah, any follow up or any other questions that were not yet asked to to Karene earlier, or some questions that Karene refused to answer and pass it to Ronald. What are those questions nga, Karene, that were aside from the political?
yeah, usually Ronald has updates on where where forces are at, like where's the military, where's Iglesia Ni Cristo, where are they now? Are they on the retreat? Are they?
Well, for now, yeah, for now, the main force, yeah, for now, the main force of the Duterte group, the Iglesia Ni Cristo, is silent. No? Silent primarily because they have been bought. They have been given key positions in government. That's why they are silent. Second, the military will no longer withdraw support for now. Why? Because they realize that the forces who would like an extra constitutional project are basically supported by China. So they cannot support an extra constitutional project with China as its beneficiary. No? So for now, the government has a breathing space. It is a breathing space. The crisis remains. The crisis can deteriorate almost overnight. But for now, they have a breathing space for the next few months, perhaps the next 3 months. But after that, the crisis will heighten again. But don't forget, the crisis has two meanings: danger and opportunity. It is an opportunity for us to negotiate terms, like the anti-dynasty bill. For the first time in our history, the Speaker of the House is supporting an anti-dynasty bill. It is not because of the goodness of their heart. It's because of the pressure of forces like us. Huh? Let us not consider this a small thing. It is one of our victories. No? Let us not admit, as others are saying, that we are being co-opted. Of course not. The anti-dynasty bill is a result of our pressure. No? Now we have to fight for the details of this anti-dynasty bill. We were able to push for a truth commission, hopefully to be enacted as law against extrajudicial killings. This is not co-optation. This is a victory of forces like us to pressure government to end impunity, to end corruption. Corruption cannot be ended while dynasties proliferate in our system. These three aspects of our systemic problems are related: corruption, impunity, and dynasties. So, what I'm saying, if the Iglesia ni Cristo can cynically negotiate for positions of power, we negotiate for advocacies we've been doing for decades. Advocacies like anti-dynasty, truth commission, no? Transparency, reform of the political party list system, reform of the local government code, etc., etc. No? So this is a time, because the system, the government is in crisis, for us to negotiate terms. And this will be one of the results of the November 30 mobilization nationwide.
Thank you, Ronald. Yeah, please allow me. I also have a question as a moderator. Ronald, I always follow your guestings in different shows, almost every show.
Why?
So, because I'm addicted
Huh?
to you already.
So,
Addicted sa charisma.
so mahilig ka rin sa walang kwentang usapan. No?
Oo, lahat mula pa ng Politiscoop. Anyway, so what I always hear from you is that the 2028 election is what you call is the most important election of our life. And all of these are actually leading to, right? What's happening currently is leading to what will happen in 2028. Of course, we would not allow a Duterte comeback. But what the chance of the democratic and progressive forces of having the 2028? uh, Maybe we should be learning our lessons from 2022. But actually, my question is, who are the potential? Are there already talks, small tent, big tent? And then for democratic forces like us, what we should be doing from now to make sure that we will have this 2028 victory, which is coming
On
very,
the
very.
horizon, the government has no candidate for president for now. No? Even the tulpos who have been pushed to be alternative candidates are no longer running. I have talked with them. So on the horizon, only the pink forces have the potential of having a candidate. The problem is the pink movement has several candidates. That's the problem. So they have to talk among themselves of who will be the standard bearer. No? So those are the meetings happening right now. No? I think the other forces, whether they like it or not, have to support a pink candidate, because everybody is facing the possibility of their own political as well as physical mortality. Everybody is facing the possibility of their political and physical extinction in a Duterte comeback. No? So even the Marcos forces have no choice but to support a winnable candidate against the Dutertes. Even the independents, like the Tulpos, have no choice. What is the challenge is to get our act together. No, the pink movement are the only ones with a viable candidate. The problem is they have several candidates. It cannot be more than one. If it will be more than one, we lose.
Mhm.
So forces like you have to participate in pushing our leaders to level up, in pushing our leaders to unite as never before. Even now, there is some political vacuum because our leaders are not leveling up. Huh? They are not leveling up as the movement of this anti-corruption movement. We cannot be the leaders. We are just hecklers. No? We cannot be the leaders of this movement. Our leaders have to realize these are not normal times. They cannot use the excuse that, oh, we're focusing on the local. Oh, we're focusing on our work as legislators. These are not normal times. This is a time of all in. All in. Forget the comparison. This is time for bombers like Rene. No? No? All in. No? Because if we do not level up now, then our future is doomed. Huh? Our future is doomed. Level up. There cannot be a political vacuum. September 22, September 2022, you saw the emergence, the significance of the growth of this movement. Even our candidates who were not in the Magic 12 in the Senate race were able to be the top 2, top 5. Even Akbayan, who wasn't in the surveys, became the number 1, the highest vote in the history of the party list system because of the youth, because of forces who want change. Even if it is just emerging last election. Now it is expanding. We have to harness that. But we need leaders to help harness that. No? That is what is lacking. So you have to push the conscience of our leaders to level up. These are not normal times. This is not a time to do their normal things. No? As mayors, as senators, as congressmen. No? Again, and we call it tayang pato. All in.
Hey, thank you, Ronald. Anyone else who would like to share their thoughts? Oh, by the way, we would like to acknowledge the participation of our friends from Edmonton and mga comrades mo, Ronald, back from the days. Yeah.
Kamusta?
Yes.
Oh, kamusta?
Tech
Uh,
Ronald.
Is there a schedule for Mr. Ronald Llamas to go to Calgary and meet us?
Next year, I'm sure to go there. Just no schedule yet.
woohoo!
Yeah.
Okay,
Let's work on it, Alan.
exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. And then I think Jaime is raising his hand too.
Yeah, Tech Ronald. Does that stepping up from our leaders also apply to you?
Ayan.
Pinapahamak ako ni Rene ah.
Ayan. I-heckle mo, Jaime.
Mga pala yung pangalan ko, Ronald Llamas ha, hindi Senator Edu.
Edu Manzanas.
Are you open to it? Are you open?
I am more a campaign manager, Rene, as you know. No? And as you pointed out, the weakness of Podemos is the lack of cadre organizing. The weakness of some political parties is they only focus on sweeping organizing. No? We need solid organizing as well. That is my task.
All
That is
right.
the task of Rene and Edwin and me.
Okay.
Oh, one
Thank
more.
you.
Are you part of the negotiations of getting that one person to lead the pink movement against Sarah?
Yes.
Okay,
You're
I
in
good.
won't
that.
talk. I won't talk about details yet.
Okay. Okay.
All right. Anyone else would like to share their sentiment or their question? Because I think we're getting late, and we would like to thank both Karene. Let's give a big hand to Karene for um, leading us to this very important discussion. And of course, to Ka Ronald Llamas, Sec Ronald Llamas for giving his time. Kahit nasa sasakyan, tingnan mo naman, kahit walang seatbelt, kasama pa rin natin.
Edwin,
Dati,
Edwin, ang tagal-tagal mo na dyan. Yung Jinglish mo, kaparehas pa rin ang Jinglish ko. Ah.
oh, pareho lang tayo kasi idol kita eh. Di
Ronald,
ba?
see you in January, ah.
Sobrang lamig dyan. Papatayin mo ba ako sa lamig?
Hindi, ako pupunta sa inyo.
Okay. Akala ko pupunta ako dyan.
Dito na lang
Oh,
pagandaan natin si Ronald
oh.
sa Canada. Canada tour.
Rene, wag ka na umalis hanggang 2028. Kailangan ko ng tulong sa Kader organizing. Solid organizing. Nag-iisa lang ako rito eh.
Talk to my wife.
Dalawa pala kami ni Eman.
Yeah. Okay, so I think at this point siguro let's call it a night. At we are very happy to have this very quick. Actually, this is very quick organizing event. Right, Ka Edwin, parang napag-usapan lang ng Thursday, 'di ba? Tapos Friday nag-prepare, tapos Saturday kasi there are people who are prodding na wala ba tayong gagawin on November 30? So that's why we huddled, Pa Edwin and I. So, then we
You.
decided magkaroon nito. And then, sabi ni Ka Edwin, hindi tayo magko-conduct nito kapag walang speaker from the Philippines. And we are so happy that we have Sec Ronald to join us tonight.
Pasensya na po at medyo na late. Pasensya na po. No?
Yeah.
Mm.
So, kaya ba natin?
Kakalanding ko lang kahapon galing Europe. Kaya jet lag pa.
Thank you so much. And
Thank you, Ronald.
last word as we close this evening.
No more. I have to leave. Thank you.
Have to leave.
Okay, thank you so much everyone. Gusto ko pa sanang kumanta tayo pero I know it's already getting late, especially in Toronto. Thank you so much for joining us. Mabuhay po tayong lahat.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Salamat.
Thank you.
Mga kurakot, ikulong na yan.
Mga kurakot, ikulong na yan.
Alright, thank you
Thank you.
everyone.
Thank you
Mabuhay,
Thank
for
you.
mabuhay
organizing
tayong
this.
lahat. Mabuhay ang sambayan ng Pilipino. Thank you.
Buhay.
Right.
Salamat, Edwin.
Thank you for coming everyone. Thank you, Ana. Nakahabol. Thanks.
Galing. Thank you.
Thank you.